Now, Katrina Kaif, we talk about your beauty as far as Aditya Roy Kapur is concerned, but I think even he's looking, as I mentioned in the beginning, extremely chiseled and taut, and he went without food for almost 2-3 months just to ensure that
he was eating lots of food, six-pack meals,
right?
Which means you eat every few hours to speed up your metabolism.
Correct.
And then you train really hard.
I was exaggerating. I was exaggerating. But seriously, I think the women I've interacted with, in fact, I've got a feedback from a lot of his female fan following on say social media, and they are literally going crazy about those.
I really hope so, because he worked really hard for it, you know, and he looks really good. So I think that's I think it's very, very well deserved, and I think that I saw the way he was working, and he was very focused and very determined, and presence of mind was there, his passion was there, and I could see that you know, we've known each other on and off for a few years, and I didn't know him very well, but I could see that, as you know, as a co-star, as an actor, he was really determined to get this right and to bring everything he could to it, and I think I really respected that, because it's not easy to do that, and all these things, you know, they add up. It's not just about being you know, looking technically right or looking physically perfect. It adds up for the character. There was a thought behind it, you know, the kind of leanness, the kind of physicality that Abhishek wanted, that Gattu wanted for the character of Noor. It was thought out. There's a reason for it.
And funny enough that you're saying that, has kind of made me rung a bell, in a sense that when you are so focused and in a zone, like that, you have to be rung a bell. Ring a bell, rings a bell.
Rings a bell.
Whichever way.
There was a bell.
Yeah, that
as long as the bell.
It made a noise.
It made a noise.
You
just
heard
now,
it.
not that far to the past. That when I was getting into the zone, and I was really in the zone, and I was doing this whole thing, it kind of centered me as well, which is what this character kind of needed. He needed to be a little bit together, and I'm a little different in the way that I am. I'm a little more, I speak fast, I'm a little more animated in the way that I express myself, but I needed to kind of change that and all, just bring that down to just the basics, and being that focused for something just was making me a little more zen-like, you know, it helped me.
In fact, we've been just reading reports about the fact that you're totally like a method actor, and you were just making portraits of Katrina Kaif in your house. And apart from that, the method part is that you guys were doing a scene in a convertible, and there was an accident apparently, and you were still not cutting it, and you're still in the character.
I didn't cut it, yeah.
So that's what, in fact,
the famous car crash in Delhi.
Oh, where I crashed the
yes.
So the door
said that she was still.
No one's speaking about the door. She's taking it, and she takes her left, and the door just flies open and bangs.
Wasn't my fault. One of the costume assistants or one of the
hairstylists
didn't shut the door. He was still acting. I crashed the car, and he's still acting.
Have you seen that shot? Was there? It was a good reaction.
It also could have worked.
It could have worked.
We actually both told Gattu that, listen, leave it. It works. Yeah, they've come from a party. I'm driving the car a little bit, you know, whatever, high maybe, and you know, I kind of bang the door into the wall.
You know, general perception is, I think the beautiful part somewhere is that you guys are sharing, I think, a beautiful in terms of physicality as well, in terms of when you're coming together, the way Pashmina has been showcased very, very elegantly and very, very gracefully as well. But that physicality, I think, is sparkling somewhere. And did you feel that it's one of the highlights that people can look forward to? Pashmina, I think, is choreographed beautifully. It's very difficult to imagine that you can choreograph that song in the first place.
I think just by virtue of this being the first time, this is the first time that we're being paired together. So by virtue of that, you're always looking forward to see whether it's going to be kind of liked and accepted. So there was an element of waiting to see how people kind of received us together. And I think that's the case with any new Jodi, or however you call it. So, so we're happy that so far people have reacted very well to it, right?
Yeah, I think that's always a good thing. But also with Pashmina, I think what you're saying about the type of choreography, which is, you know, lyrical contemporary dance, to me it was really just a really exciting opportunity for us just to, I call it just like touching the surface, because you know, that's contemporary dance is, there's so much you can do with it, and this kind of expression, this form of dancing, lyrical dancing, which we kind of just, you know, we barely touched the surface in Pashmina. I find it really, really beautiful.
It's beautifully
and
done.
I feel that some of the some of the things that that sometimes you find you don't have words for, or you don't maybe you just don't feel like expressing. You know, when someone comes to ask you, you know, how are you, or how are you feeling, or is something wrong, and sometimes you just can't find the right words. You don't know how to express yourself.
Right.
For me, that kind of dance really can do that for you. I think it has the power and the capacity to really fill those words, and to fill that, to allow you to express certain emotions, and the ability to just kind of understand that. And I mean, as I said, I really think we just touched upon it with Pashmina. There's so much more you can do with it. So many more places you can go.
Right. Maybe I think the minimalistic part is the fact that makes it look so beautiful. That maybe you just touch.
You know, sometimes when you take off all the adornments, and you take off all the frills and all the trappings and the elaborate costume and the makeup and the distractions, you know.
Also the editing. There's some long shots. Sometimes in our dances, there is so many cuts that you don't get to see one long, take. And there's a lot of merit in just holding a shot, because it keeps the viewer also so engaged with that. So we have a couple of shots in Pashmina which are kind of long, but I think that simplicity is what also appealed to me.
Right.